The goal of this channel is to provide you with an adventure-based education so we can make the entire world a more peaceful place for all global citizens. So, I'm going to tell you how I only spend $80 a month in Seoul, Korea, which many people say is one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in. So, first of all, you have to pick your neighborhood correctly. So I live in an apartment that's very far away from the subway stations. If you get closer to the subway stations in Seoul, Korea, you can notice that the rent typically goes higher and higher. So I chose a location that is intentionally farther away from subway stations, maybe a 20-minute walk. But that's okay. I like walking. I also have a bicycle that I can ride to the subway station if I need to, and that doesn't take much time at all. Or I can just run to the subway station if it's not too hot out. So in order to break a little bit of sweat and get some exercise. And also, once you choose your location in Seoul, the next thing to be aware of is your landlord. After you live in your apartment for several years, it's important to develop a good, positive relationship with your landlord. So after a few years living in the same place here, I've lived here for about 9 years now in the same apartment building, in the same room with the same landlord. About 5 years ago, I decided, hey, I've lived here for a long time, and I was reading a book on negotiation techniques. I said, hey, why don't I just try these negotiation techniques out on my landlord and see if he'll lower the price for me. So I called him on the phone and said, excuse me, sir, could you please lower the price of rent by $50 per month? And then he said, okay, all right, sure. So all I did was ask him to lower the price after a few years, and I told him, hey, it's going to be a pain for you if I move out of this place. You're going to have to look for a new tenant, and you don't know if that tenant's going to pay the rent on time, and you're going to have to call a realtor to find you that tenant, and you're going to get involved in paperwork, and you're going to have to refurnish this place and clean it out if I leave. So if you could please do me this favor, I would be very, very happy. And he said, sure, okay. And then a few months ago, I was conducting an online class with my students via the internet, because now we are in the coronavirus time of this world, unfortunately. So I was conducting an online class, and what happened? My landlord came in, knocked on the door, and saw me speaking in English to my students. And I said, excuse me, sir, please wait until I finish this class, and then we'll talk about what we need to talk about. So we had a conversation together, and he shut the door on me and said, hey, I have to ask you something. And I thought, oh boy, here we go. He's going to try to raise the price, or he's going to tell me you have to move out within a week. And he said, hey, what if you teach my grandson English, and then I won't get any money for rent? That's all you have to do, just teach him 3 hours per day, 3 hours per week. And I said, oh, that sounds like a great deal, but I'm a very busy guy. How about 2 hours per week? 2 hours is about all I can spare. And so he said, okay, all right. Well, what should we do about your vacation? You're gone on vacation, you're paying rent. And I said, oh, of course. Unfortunately, I can't teach during vacation time because I'm traveling abroad, and I won't be able to teach your grandson. And so what can we do about that? I don't think I'm going to be able to pay rent then either. And then he said, okay, fine. 8 months a year for 2 hours per week, and you don't have to pay any rent anymore. So I don't have any rent payments at all to pay for my apartment. So the key here is to get to know your landlord, develop a relationship that's very positive and friendly, and amiable, and hopefully you can work something out after you've lived in the same place for a few years. The second thing you might be thinking about is, what about food costs? You have to eat, right? Doesn't eating cost more than $80 a month? And the answer to that question is, I eat at home all of the time. What do I eat? You might be wondering. I eat this rice. So here we have, this is, let's see, 4 kilograms worth of rice. And this lasts me for about 2 to 3 months. And I eat this for every meal. And this costs about $12 at the store if you buy this. Also, for every meal, I eat lentils. So lentils are a superfood that have a lot of vitamins and minerals and protein, trace minerals that you can't find anywhere else. And this is 800 grams, so I can buy 1.6 kilograms for about $4 at the local store. So this will last me about 1 or 2 weeks, and this will run me about $2 per bag. I can buy 2 of these bags for $4. So these are my staples that I eat all the time for my grains and my protein. What else do I eat? You might be thinking, oh, but fruit is so expensive in South Korea and Seoul. How do you eat fruit and vegetables? The answer is, I never go to the brand name grocery stores or even the neighborhood grocery stores, the smaller ones. I go to the traditional markets. And if you go to the traditional markets, you can see a lot of fruits and vegetables sold for a cheap price. And a trick that I have is buying, here's a nectarine. You can see if I put this close to the screen here, there is a little brown spot, but the rest of the nectarine is perfectly edible and delicious. It's nice and soft and juicy. So when I finish doing this video, I'll be eating this nectarine. But the people at the markets, they sell these for a very, very, very cheap prices. Why? Because of this little brown spot here. Nobody wants to buy that, but I want to buy it. So I get these 10 nectarines for about $1 that nobody wants to buy. Bananas that are getting a little bit brown, I put them all in the freezer, maybe 10 to 15 for $1 or $2. So this is how I can eat on the cheap. Another thing that helps me eat on the cheap is I don't drink anything except for water. No Coca-Cola, no Sprite, no alcohol, no liquor, no coffee. Sometimes I drink some tea, but all water from my faucet. That's how I save money. Or from water dispensers that you find inside of any building in South Korea. Yes, in Korea, water is free everywhere. It's beautiful, isn't it? It should be a human right. That's the way it should be. Good on you, Korea, for doing that. Also, another thing that helps me to save money is fasting. Yes, I fast for 24 hours, 2 to 3 times per week. And of course, there are many health benefits that go along with fasting, and that's an entirely different video. But if I do 2 to 3 24-hour fasts per week, then imagine how much money that's going to save me also. Even when I'm filming this video, I have been fasting now for about 42 hours. All I've been drinking is water. And that not only saves me money, grocery costs, but I become healthier. I burn cancer cells that are inside my body, and I have this mental clarity right now. So those are some tips for saving money with food. What about other costs, you might be wondering? You probably have a phone, you have internet, you buy clothes, you maybe have some other costs that you have to spend on. So actually, if you look at my phone, I've had this phone for a very, very long time, as you can tell. This is a 2G phone, a Sky phone, and I pay about $8 per month for this phone here. And it's fine. I can write text messages, I can make phone calls, and of course I have an internet connection that costs me about $20 a month. So I make most of my international phone calls through my internet connection, using Skype, using Facebook, using Zoom now. So of course an internet connection is necessary. So what about clothes? You're probably wondering, what about the clothes you're wearing right now? They look kind of expensive. Actually, these clothes right here, this shirt that I'm wearing was given to me by a friend on my birthday. Yes, the underwear I'm wearing right now was also given to me by an ex-girlfriend on my birthday. And even these dress shoes I have right here, these dress shoes are Prada, name brand Prada dress shoes. You might be thinking, wow, those are expensive. Well, these were given to me by a coworker who said he grew out of them. They didn't fit him or his feet were hurting, and they were the perfect size for me. So now I'm the owner of some Prada shoes, dress shoes here. Here we have a hat that I wear sometimes when it's hot out, when I need to shield myself from the sun when I go hiking. And I got this hat from an old man that was hiking on a mountain. He just took it off his head and he was impressed with my Korean ability, and he put it on my head and said, "Here, take this hat." So now I can wear this hat that was gifted to me by an old man on a mountain when it's hot outside, when I need to shield myself from the sunlight. Also, I have this hat to wear when it's cold outside. So this was given to me by a friend on my birthday again several years ago, so I can wear this anytime I want to. And of course, these socks here, I have socks that I wear that were given to me by a monk who noticed that, hey, you have holes in your socks. Why are you wearing holy socks? And maybe I don't look too religious, right? Holy socks, get it? Religion? Okay, bad joke. So anyway, he saw my holy socks, and then he said, "Okay, I'm going to give you these socks here for you. Just take them. Take this pair." And he wouldn't accept no for an answer. I guess it was very, very shameful to wear holy socks, even for a monk. So, anyway, I receive all these clothes as hand-me-downs, and of course I'm very, very thankful. So a tip for you is to ask your friends, ask your neighbors if you know anybody that wears similar size clothes to you do, as you do. Oftentimes people want to get rid of their clothes or donate them or give them away to somewhere else. So you can just ask around. Or if you see somebody, you can say, "Hey, I like that sweatshirt. Do you mind if I take it before you try to donate it to somewhere else?" So that's the third tip about some miscellaneous things. The fourth thing you might be thinking about is transportation. What about transportation costs? How do you get around? So there's bus, subway, taxi, and car here in Seoul and in South Korea. And of course you could spend about $60 to $40 a month on bus and subway fees, but I have not taken the bus or the subway not even one time since the coronavirus has hit South Korea. Yes, I ride my bicycle everywhere to the market. I ride it in the park to get some exercise. I buy food. So all my trips are made by bicycle. And bicycle maintenance, of course, I travel the world by bicycle, so I know a little bit about bicycle maintenance. I can do things myself and fix flat tires, change brakes and spokes and things like that. So bicycle repairs are very, very minimal, and this saves me everything. Even this helmet here. One of my ex-girlfriends noticed that, hey, you're riding your bicycle everywhere without a helmet. So what did she do? She was so worried about me that she bought me a helmet like this. And I didn't even pay for this helmet. So, anyway, these are some ways how you can save money. Oh, even, I cut my own hair even. I have a set of clippers here that I bought several years ago. I thought to myself, why do I even pay people to cut my hair? It's so easy to do. My haircut looks good, right? Because I did it myself. So, anyway, you can save money even further by buying your own set of clippers, and you don't have to pay that $10 per month or however long. All this adds up. Penny by penny, we make a big mountain. Yes, if you accumulate dust, you will make that big mountain. So that's a Korean proverb I just thought I would drop here at the end of this video. I hope you learned a little bit about how I save money and how I'm able to spend only $80 a month here in Seoul, South Korea, in a place that many consider very, very expensive place to live. And I hope you can use at least some of these tips for your life in order to save money, to go after the things that you really want in life. For me, it's becoming a better global citizen by pedaling my bicycle all over the world. So that's how I have money to travel for 2 months at a time. And remember, if you like this video, please subscribe and leave a comment. What are your tips for saving money? I want to learn more about this. This is a very useful topic for our lives that we don't learn about in school. So please help to educate me also. So leave your comments and tips. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Global Citizen channel.